Do you guys love it that we always open up these with big smiles on our faces? Do it again real quick. Just big cheese.
Got to cheese it out.
Coaches, parents, what's happening? This Facebook Live, you probably saw the title and you're like, the reason why coaches and parents would fail their kids. There's actually only one reason, one way that you could ever fail your kids. Only one way. We're going to share it in this video. It has something to do with what's behind me. There are many other reasons why kids might fail. Kids might fail for a whole bunch of different reasons. They might fail to level up to their full potential. They might fail to become all they're created to become, to make a team, to get a scholarship. They might fail in all these ways, but there's only one way that you as a parent or coach can fail your kids, and it's the same way that people fail themselves when they try to lose weight. You see, a person that tries to lose weight, in the beginning, they've got crystal clear vision. They've got crystal clear vision about what it is they want to achieve and why. Hopefully they have the why. If they don't, they're going to fail anyway. But they know they want to lose the weight. They can see it, right? They can see it. But then along the way, the only reason why a person who wants to lose weight fails is because they lose sight of their vision. They lose sight of what it is that they want to achieve. They don't see it very clearly anymore. They start to doubt themselves. They get distracted by life, right? Holidays come, loved one passes away, somebody in their life gets a bad diagnosis, and all these things, serious events. But that's what causes them to lose sight of their vision. And if you lose sight of your vision, if you conform, if you get distracted by what other people are doing, what other people, what other parents, what other coaches are pursuing, that's the only way you can fail. Because you should have a definition of success for your kids that is unique to you. But what happens is we take on other people's definition of success for our kids, whether it's a coach or another parent, and then when that happens, man, like, you're going to fail. That's the only way you can fail your kids, is if you lose sight of the end objective, the end goal for your kids.
Yeah, we live in a society that's really distracted by everything. We catch that next shiny object and we chase that.
It's by everything and everybody.
Yep. And the biggest thing is, I want you guys to think, delayed gratification. It's not so common nowadays. If you want to achieve success, whether it's for your athlete, whether it's for losing weight, whatever it might be, you got to set that target. You got to keep your eye on the prize. And you just got to take steps to get there, leveling up consistently until you achieve that thing. And right now, it's harder than ever because we get marketed to, life happens, like Andrew said, and all these things will take us off track. So the challenge is, look at that delayed gratification.
Yeah, I mean, what is your gold standard? Like, have you paused this year, let's say 2020, to think about what is like the gold standard for what I want my kids to achieve, whether I'm a coach of a bunch of athletes or whether I'm a parent? What's the gold standard? Like, if my kids were to become this or achieve this, what is that? Parents start out, coaches start out. I've talked to them before. The noble ones, the ones that have good morals, they have good goals for their kids that aren't just all about the stats and the scholarships, and they start out like that. And then, man, if you don't have that laser focus on who you are and who you're becoming and who you want to see your kid become, and if you haven't decided in advance that you are going to put your blinders on and let the rest of the world does what it wants, let the rest of the coaches and parents out there pursue what they want to pursue, I care about this for my kid, and I don't care about the rest of the stuff. If the rest of the stuff comes to pass, it should just be a byproduct of focusing on the right stuff for my kid. And I'm being broad with it because you actually have to define what that is for your kids. For me, my son, I care more about who he becomes than what he accomplishes. I want him to be a man of character, integrity, kind. I want him to be a strong communicator, right? I don't want him to fear what other people think about him. I want him to be who he is no matter what. And that's my target. That's my end destination. And I've got to avoid all the other things along the way that are going to distract me from that, because that's what I value most.
I think right now Jack needs to work on his communication skills, though.
Jack?
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. And if I'm not careful, I'll compare him to other kids who might be saying daddy instead of dad.
Whatever it might be. So I know for me, I don't have a kid yet, and I'm not coaching a sports team, but with the athletes that I coach in here, my number one priority this year is make sure they're unshakable, right? I think the physical side, it's going to come with time. But how can we make these athletes resilient to endure the different things that they're going to face on and off that field to make them unshakable and get them caught up in the process not the end destination, right? Too many times we compare ourselves to where other people are, and I'm really trying to get these athletes to get focused on just a constant path of self-improvement on and off that field.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I write about in the book, The Youth Truth, that came out today actually for the PFP community only. If you're on our email list, you're getting the book today, plus a big bonus, but then next week, everyone else will get access to it. One of the things I write about is that kids have lost their ability to think and reason because they're always inundated with information overload via their phones. They've lost the ability that maybe you and I had growing up to think and reason through things. So they don't even stop and think about, why am I even doing this? What am I trying to achieve here? What am I trying to become, or who am I trying to be? What am I trying to accomplish? Most people are not pausing to think about that, because if they did, they would say to themselves, gosh, why am I getting so stressed out about this? This isn't even what I value most. Why am I getting so bent out of shape about this? It's because other people are pressuring you. And you got to be able to think for yourself and reason for yourself. And it starts with the leaders, man. I've come to realize more and more that the coaches and parents, so much of the responsibility of our youth falls on us. If not us, who else? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you can study any successful team, any successful family, and typically you'll find the leaders are leading out in front, taking care of these things. They're pausing and defining what success looks like for them. I mean, you look at a coach like Dabo Swinney. I know LSU just beat him. Coach O got it. But the big thing is Dabo Swinney took that culture and he defined what success was for him, and there's a standard there. And now they've been able to pursue that consistently and elevate it to be one of the top programs in the country. But it started with that culture and good leadership to get that program to really rise.
Yeah. So if you want your kid to pause long enough to think about their vision and who they want to become, you have to pause long enough to think about your vision for them. Mm-hmm. And another big challenge is you cannot be what you cannot see. So if your kids, your athletes, don't have a strong example to watch what somebody else looks like when they're pursuing success, their own definition, you can't expect them to go about and do it themselves. So if you want your kids to have a vision greater than what most kids have nowadays, which is nothing, it starts with you. So we need to pause as parents, as coaches, pause in the morning. That's my best time. 20 minutes, 10 minutes, heck, even 5. And just close your eyes. Don't open that cell phone up right away. Sit down and pause and ask yourself, ask your creator, who do you want me to become? Who do I want to become? And why? And then am I living in accordance with that? Or my day-to-day, moment-to-moment actions, are they aligned? Because that's step one, man. You gotta know who you are, who you're becoming, and why before your kids will ever have a vision.
And I know some people out there say, do as I say, not as I do. But come on, you gotta get rid of that. We know the kids, we know the athletes, they're watching. So if you're saying and you're preaching, hey, we're looking for this constant improvement and this is what I see for you, but you're not rewarding that journey and your actions are saying otherwise, there's no congruence there. And you're gonna see these athletes get stressed out, you're gonna see these athletes get burnt out. So make sure you're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. Because you can say things all day, but if athletes see your actions reflect another thing, they're gonna pick up on that. And it's going to be hard for them to stay in congruence with that.
Yep. So last little action step I have for you as the coach, as the parent, pick up a pen and paper, write down all the things that you currently don't like seeing out of your son or daughter or your athletes. All the things, maybe the character flaws, maybe the poor actions, maybe the bad habits. Write down all those things and then just realistically look within and say, have I demonstrated that through actions? Not just what I say, but demonstrated it through actions. Because again, make your actions speak so loud that nobody can hear your words. Great quote that I heard once. Make your actions speak so loud that nobody can hear your words. That's important. Don't lose your vision. Keep that vision, man. Conformity all day long. People are conforming. Don't. Stick with what you think is right. You usually feel something on the inside that's not right when you hear people talking about, like, I want my 8-year-old to get a scholarship. Like, something just doesn't feel right. Pay attention to that, because it's probably not aligned with your vision, and don't let that run you off course. If your kid's different, heck, that's good, right? You want your kids, you want your athletes to be different. Anything else, Coach Travie B?
I think the big thing is live your vision into fruition, right? You got to be who you want to become who you want to be. So practice what you want to become today, and eventually one day you're going to be different, and different's a good thing. Who wants to be average? So live your vision into fruition.
Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on What do we call this? Tuesdays Facebook Live with Travis and Andrew. We'll come up with a better ring to
sound
it.
good, but-
Peace. Love you guys.